Welcome. This video is going to be around the idea of forgiveness. Of the 5 practices that I encourage you to engage with periodically, forgiveness may be one of the most challenging ones. Of gratitude, acceptance, compassion, meaning. And the last is forgiveness. There's a lot to it. So for the remainder of this video, we'll have a discussion about what forgiveness is and what it might not be. And then a brief practice at the end.
Chances are, because you're human, sometime throughout your life, you've either experienced a sense of betrayal or disappointment or letdown, sometimes at the hand of another, sometimes through your own doing. Or maybe you have even experienced a moment when you may have said or done something that resulted in somebody else being hurt and disappointed or betrayed. This is when forgiveness can be useful. It's so easy as we live our life to encounter people that may want to do us harm on purpose, but sometimes the harm that we encounter is incidental, it's inadvertent. Yet we still feel it. We internalize it. It affects our psyche. It can land as a sense of betrayal, or a hurt, or a disappointment, or a failure even. There are so many ways that as we move through life, we start to carry resentments and regrets with us, even grudges. This is where a forgiveness process can really help us let go of our past hurts so we can move on. So what about forgiveness and letting go? What do they have in common? Well, oftentimes it feels comfortable to hang on to our hurts and our betrayals and our disappointments, our resentments, our regrets. It's not necessarily healthy for us. It doesn't necessarily even feel comfortable, but it feels familiar. So we hang on to them. We don't let them go. There's a few things that forgiveness is not. And one of those is, in some parts of the world, in the United States for instance, there's a saying that says to forgive is to forget. And the purpose of forgiveness isn't to forget, it's to actually be able to remember so you're not hurt the same way again in the future, or so that you don't do the same hurt to another individual in the future. So it's not about forgetting, it's about letting go. The idea of letting go, what is it that we actually let go of? Sometimes it'll be an actual belief, something that affects us at our core. That if we release this belief about this incident, about this event, about this hurt, then somehow we change, and it's not us. When, in actuality, when we do let go, typically, very common that people start to describe that there's a lightness, there's an ease that comes with that. So the forgiveness process is one of the processes that we can lean in and actually let go of our hurts and our behaviors that may be affecting us negatively. It's also not about excusing. It's holding someone accountable for their actions and their behaviors rather than letting them off the hook. Oftentimes within relationships, somebody will do a wrong and then they'll go to their loved one and they say, "Oh, please excuse me, please forgive me for that," and then they do it again. Forgiveness isn't about excusing and allowing it to happen again. Forgiveness is about developing the space to let go of the hurt, to heal from it, and then to do something different. It doesn't necessarily mean reconciliation. It could, but it doesn't have to be. It can be learning to set boundaries differently and hold boundaries in a way that maybe I've never done before.
The sense of psychological and spiritual well-being that comes from practicing forgiveness comes directly because this practice takes us to the edge of what we cannot accept. Being on the edge is challenging and wrenching and even transforming. Forgiveness process demands courage, a strength of heart, and a continuing remembering of where our deepest happiness lies. As you practice these reflections, many conflicted emotions might arise. Shame, anger, a sense of betrayal, confusion, or even doubt. Try to allow these states to arise without judging them. Recognizing them as natural occurrences, gently returning your attention to this forgiveness reflection. This reflection is done in 3 parts: asking forgiveness from those who you have harmed, offering forgiveness to those who have harmed you, and offering forgiveness to yourself. Sitting comfortably in a posture that offers dignity, settling in and finding the breath, allowing the body to breathe itself naturally. 1 breath in, 1 breath out. Closing the eyes if safe, and if not, lowering the gaze loosely out in front and reciting these words, silently or out loud as you prefer. If I have harmed anyone in any way, either knowingly or unknowingly, I ask their forgiveness. If I have hurt or harmed anyone in any way, either knowingly or unknowingly, I ask their forgiveness. If different people, images, or scenarios come up, release the burden of guilt and ask for forgiveness. I ask your forgiveness. After some time, you can offer forgiveness to those who have harmed you. Don't worry if you don't experience a rush of great loving kindness. This is not meant to be an artificial exercise, rather a way of honoring the powerful force of intention. In our minds, we're cultivating our ability to let go and begin again. We are asserting the human heart's capacity to change and grow. Continue reciting, if anyone has hurt or harmed me, knowingly or unknowingly, I forgive them. If anyone has hurt or harmed me, knowingly or unknowingly, I forgive them. And as thoughts or images come to mind, continue and recite, I forgive you. I forgive you. In the end, turning our attention to forgiveness of ourselves. If there are ways you have harmed yourself, or not loved yourself, or not lived up to your own expectations, this is the time to let go of unkindness towards yourself. Because of what you have done, you can include any inability to forgive others that you have discovered on your part in this reflection, stating, if there is a situation I am not ready to forgive, I forgive myself for that. For all the ways that I have harmed myself, negate, belittle myself, judge myself, or be unkind to myself through my own confusions, I forgive myself. For all the ways I have hurt or harmed myself, knowingly or unknowingly, I forgive myself.